Good morning, team. This is our group. This group is comprised of four guys. There's me, Anderson Josas. We have got Nelson Chitsuro. We have got Asen Ngomba and the editor Chibwana. We are doing a performance analysis for Sunbird Tourism Public Limited Company, and this is for the year ended the 31st December 2022. Firstly, let me give you an introduction of Sunbird. Sunbird Tourism is established in the year 1988, and it's a public listed company on the Malawi Malawi Stock Exchange. This was a result of a consolidation of the government on hotels under different investment, and its major shareholder is the government itself with the 71%, followed by Press Corporation, which has got 15%, and then the general public with the 14%. With a diverse portfolio of 10 properties across the country, including city hotels, beach, mountains, country resorts, Sunbird has been widely recognized as the outstanding in its hospitality with the personalized services as well as the comfortable accommodation. And with the highly motivated skilled staff, Sunbird has got 800 employees across the country for all the hotels that Sunbird has. Let's go to the financial performance analysis for this Sunbird. Our focus mainly was to deeply analyze and evaluate its performance, financial performance for the year ended 2022. That is as compared to the year 2021. And our analysis was based on the key financial factors, financial ratios rather, mainly the profitability ratios, liquidity ratios, working capital ratios, solvency ratios, as well as the investment ratios. And this report also analyzes the other non-financial factors that has affected the outstanding performance of this company in the year 2022. And in conclusion, our report is going to provide some recommendations on the improvement of Sunbird Hotels in its future performance. And that's according to Zadzugadzau 2016. Let's go to its profitability. After doing our analysis on its profitability, these are some of the findings regarding the profitability of Sunbird. Our analysis was based on the financial ratios necessary to determine its profitability and the company's ability to generate suitable amount of profit is assessed using the profitability ratio, and this is according to Mayview 2019. And for Sunbird Hotels, we analyzed profitability ratios that helped us to analyze its performance, and these ratios are gross profit margin, net profit margin, and the return on capital employed. And we did this in reference to SCCA 2015. That's according to SCCA book 2015. That's corporate financial reporting. And in the year 2022, Sunbird gross profit margin grew from 62 to 67%. and this was an improvement from the previous year. And likewise, the net profit margin and the return on capital employed rose from 5% to 7%, and from 4% to 10%, respectively, for both ratios. Factors that contributed to Sunbird PLC. We identified a number of factors that contributed to the improvement in its profitability ratios. I mean, it is profitability of the company, that is Sunbird Hotels. And one of the contributing factors was the lifting of travel bans by majority of the countries worldwide in the 2022. Saw a significant rebound of the tourism industry from the effects of COVID-19. And this is according to their website. You look at the COVID-19 affected heavily the tourism industry in such a way that most of the tourism industry companies did not perform well. And one of them is the Sunbird Tourism Hotels. And in 2022, because of the lifting of that ban, that has resulted in a significant rebound of its business. And the second one was to do with the free movement of people. That has significant recovery. Of hospitality and the travel industry. That resulted in revenue growth of Sunbird by 55% in the year 2022 due to increased occupancy rate. Yeah, you look at the fact that we had the free movement of people. This resulted in the revenue increase from by 55% of Sunbird in the year 2022. And if you are to look at the revenue growth in the year 2021, the revenue was 16.4 billion, and in the year 2022, the revenue was 25.7 billion. So hence that increase. And now you look at the increase in this revenue was because of the corporate segment, which has got both individual as well as a group, and this segment contributed 82% of the revenue that got increased in the year 2022. And these factors resulted in the increase in the gross profit margin that we have mentioned about, of up to 67%, that is in the year 2022. We still continue with those factors that contributed to the profitability, and the other factor is you look at when you want to increase revenue. When they wanted to increase revenue, Sunbird increased revenue through occupancy and food covers. And the company intensified on promotions and events like birthday, weddings, honeymoon, brunch, winter, low seasons, and online travel promotions. And these factors also contributed a lot to the revenue increase in such a way that the promotions and the events led to 55% of growth in the other income. You look at when you look at the financial statements for Sunbird, you find that the other income element has increased from 176 million to 272 million. That is in the year 2022. And during the year, Sunbird implemented a strong cost containment measure that saw administration and the other expenses as a proportion of revenue to be reduced from 53% to 46% in the year 2022. Meaning the cost-cutting measures that this company implemented helped a lot in the profitability of this company. And these factors has resulted in the sharp growth of profit after tax by 307%, that is in the year 2022, and the net gross profit margin of 12% from 5% in the year 2021. So you look at these factors contributed a lot to the profit after tax increase up to 307% in the year 2022. We also looked at the return on capital employed, which is a metric that assesses how effectively a business is turning its investment into a profit, and that's according to Kamaria, that's 2013. And in the year 2022, Sunbird return on capital employed grew to 10% from 4% in the year 2021. And to avoid reliance on external financing like banks, loans to fund its operation, the company issued corporate bonds in the year in order to raise its capital. So, meaning this helped a lot in the return on capital employed growth to 10%. On the liquidity, let me hand over to my colleague, Asset, who can proceed with the presentation, starting from liquidity onwards. Asset.
Thank you. As we have seen, the company can fulfill its commitment when they become due with the support of liquidity. That's according to Salim and Rahman 2011. So when we talk of liquidity, we mean the cash that the company can have in order to meet some obligations. So in the next statement, they're saying the company's current ratio is raised from 1.3 to 1.25 in 2022. A good expense for sorry? Okay. All right. So I've said when we talk of liquidity, we mean the availability of cash that a company can have in order to meet its obligations. So according to some points there, in 2021 to 2022, there was a decrease in the company's current ratio decreased from 1.3 to 1.2. These are good expense for short-term employees' benefits. So they had the obligations to meet, like the employee benefits, the performance bonus payables, and the annual leave pay provisions. So in 2021-22, the same way, in the year 2022, output VAT for the company increased by 23%. Had an obligation to pay output VAT, as well as they introduced the contractors' fees, which also helped. Okay, which also helped to reduce the cash that the company had. Now we come to working capital. When we talk of working capital, we mean working capital management involves keeping on an eye on a company's current assets and the current liabilities to make sure that it has enough cash in hand to satisfy its needs. That's according to Shama 208. So the company should have an asset that can satisfy its needs. That's according to Shama. In the year 2022, trade payables collection period for the same period private limited is significantly improved from 73 days and in 2020 to 49 days. So which means even the trade receivables, they were able to pay them in time. So there was also another improvement there. Not only trade receivables, there was also an improvement in trade payables. As you can see, the trade payables also improves from 130 days to 187 days. So despite the customers were loyal to them, they are also loyal to the suppliers. They were paying them in good time. So there was a balance between the trade receivables and trade payables. Still on working capital, the company's inventory holding period improves in the year 2022 compared to the prior year from 141 days to 135 days. So there was also a reduction in the period that they keep their stock. There are a number of factors that managed to reduce the period to keep their stock. One of which is the company is involved in perishable goods, so perishable consumables. As you know, Capital Hotel, they sell food, they do something that can easily get perished if they keep it in a longer period of time. Then there was also the write-down of inventories to net realizable value. That was done in the year under review in the other factors that led to the improvement. So there's also another point which is from of the realizable value of its assets. Then we go down, there's a solvency. So the solvency, the ability of a corporation to fulfill its long-term financial responsibilities, is measured by its solvency. So the company should also, despite doing well, they should also manage their debts. They should also not lie much from the debtors to finance the company. So in this case, according to negotiate the salary 2019, he explained better on the solvency issues. Now, on the same, there's also companies gearing in the year 2022 significantly improved from 46 to 36%. So the gearing, the gearing ratio itself, it also improved by 10%, meaning now the company was not relying much from the creditors that they can finance the business. This signifies that Sunbird relied much on equity financing than it did in the year 2022. So what they're trying to mean, is the company are able now to issue shares to the public so that they can finance the business and getting loans to outsiders. So and the last and renewal of bank overdraft. They had an overdraft in 2021, so they had to take it out. That also improved. So from there, I hand over to my friend, Madison, to continue from where I've stopped. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Asid. Now, we quickly want to look into other interventions which the company had undertaken, one of which being the investments. Referring to the report which was published in 2022, Sunbird had maintained its dividend cover ratio of 1 in the years 2021 and 2022 based on the report which we found on the website. And at the same time, there was interim dividend payment to the shareholders of 131 million. This represented a 50 number per share, signifying that the company's net income was sufficient to effect the payment of the dividends. Now let's quickly look at other non-financial performance. Apart from the financial performance which we've looked into, there are other non-financial performance which we want to quickly analyze, being corporate governance, risk management, innovation and technology, and human resource. Now let's look into this one by one. In corporate governance, according to the report which was published by the Sunbird Tourism Management, we've noticed that there was a good corporate governance which is confirmed by the existence of 9 non-executive directors which were overseeing the management of the business. And apart from that, this board basically was to exercise effective control on governance issues. And it was as well providing a framework of delegation of powers. And apart from that, there was the risk management. And in this case, I will quickly mention the last part, which says the risk management obligations and responsibilities were delegated to Finance and the Audit Committee. The board has different committees which was responsible for different areas, one of which being risk management. And apart from that, it has invested a lot in technology and innovation. Quickly, just to mention things like introduction of electronic menus and the improvement of their ICT system. So let me pass on to my colleague, Elita, who is going to finalize on another element being human resource.
So Sunbird PLC, moving from a COVID era where it had disrupted its operations, it has invested and also revived its long service award and chef competitions, at the same time trying to improve and boost employee morale and motivation. At the same time, it was also invested in a structural review procedure that started in 2021 and it is ongoing at the moment. Mainly it is to support the new 5-year strategic plan that they're investing in. And at the same time, it is also improving and investing in the learning and development of their employees so they can provide the services better. So moving on to the conclusion and recommendations. So currently, Sunbird is actually failing to meet its short-term obligations at the moment because of the liquidity decline in 2022, which moved from 1.30 to 1.25. Therefore, the company must concentrate on improving its liquidity so that it can meet its employee obligations. One way the company can increase its cash and cash equivalents at the moment is to renew the 150 million bank overdraft facility with the bank. At the same time, they had a medium-term short loan which had completed with EDF. They can actually approach Export Development Fund at the same time to get the same funding for the medium-term loan so that they can actually improve their liquidity at the same time. So that marks the end of our presentation. Thank you. Any questions?
Okay, just one. You indicate on the liquidity, you indicated that just because the liquidity ratio dropped from 1.3 to 1.25, then it is facing liquidity, it is facing problems to maybe to pay its obligations. Would you clarify on that? Because from my understanding is any ratio that is above 1, it implies that the assets, the current assets, are enough to meet the current obligations. So just the downward move, would it imply that it is in problems, that it is failing to meet its obligations?
Thank you. It's not much, but when you look at, we are looking at the slight decrease that has happened. That can signify at some point, that at some point that might deteriorate further. So for us to manage that, that's why we came up with a recommendation to management that to maintain this ratio, at least they need to put measures so that at least it should not continue declining, with an aim of safeguarding the liquidity so that they can be able to meet the short-term payments, obligation that this organization is facing. Otherwise, as you've said, let me agree with you. The ratios are okay, but just to monitor the liquidity itself, the company should implement measures on how they can at least improve going upwards, not going downwards.
And just to add what you have said, remember the company is coming from a loss. There was a COVID in 2019, so they didn't make profit. So they had to break their figures very well. So that's why they didn't want to maybe mixing up things. So it's like they're doing it in slowly so that by the maybe 2, 3 years or 5 years time, then the ratios will balance and it will reflect the exact reflection on the interpretation itself. So it's like that. It's a slow improvement based from the losses that they made from the previous financial year. Any question? We are here to respond to any questions, so long as it reflects to our research.
I think it's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.